welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 battle report at Slider Games. Today we have a 1,250 point Tempest of War battle here on this ancient shrine to a fallen Space Marine. Heroic last stand there on that little hill, and they built all these temples and things to celebrate that, but that was ancient history and the planet has been ravaged by war since. Today we have priority targets for our primary mission. So get 5 points for controlling one or more objectives, 5 if you control more than your opponent. And then finally, at the end of the battle, you score 5 victory points for each objective marker you control, up to 20 points. And then we have this spearhead assault as our deployment. So we've got an objective close to the center of the battlefield. It's actually like right here's the center, but we've got this near the statue. This is a deployment zone. Up on that little platform is a deployment zone, and then no man's land and no man's land. So that is how things will be set up today. And this mission is going to be against Imperial Guard, and then my Tyranids are fighting them. The story so far, there was this has been a war of attrition. Death Korps of Krieg have been here fighting Tyranids, and now there are about six maybe Kriegers left on the entire planet, and they've been reinforced by some Cadians. And controlling the Imperial Guard, Jerry is back.
So this is me returning to playing Guard. So I haven't played Guard in about 10 years. And the theme of my army traditionally has been the stragglers. It's all the pieces of units left behind. And today's also going to represent that. I have some antique models as well as current models.
Yeah.
And we are running heavy infantry. And you've seen Cadian Sergeant Steel. Today is more like Cadian Sergeant Aluminum. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Many bodies for the hive mind to consume. But yeah, if you are enjoying these videos here at Slider Game, please be sure to like and subscribe. That helps us out here at Slider Games. But with that being said, let's take a look at the armies. So this is my Hive Fleet Baraxas. We are a splinter of Hive Fleet Kraken. This is exactly 1,250 points. Today we have a Broodlord. He's got the Yrmgarl factor relic, so he can buff himself in combat, adding strength, toughness, or attacks. He also has the Psychic Power Onslaught, so he can choose a unit that advanced and they can still charge, which can be handy for himself or another unit. The Warlord, though, is our Neurothrope. He has the Warlord trait Direct Guidance, so he can point to a core unit and let them give them +1 to hit for the whole turn. That would include Gene Stealers or these warriors. So we've got 3 squads of 3 Tyranid warriors. Front squad, dual Bone Swords, Death Spitters with a Venom Cannon on one guy. Squad behind them, dual Bone Swords and Death Spitters, and then finally Scything Talons and Devours. All 3 units have Adrenal Glands, so they get +1 to their strength and movement. So the Bone Swords are strength 8 and the Scything Talons are strength 6. So that will be useful, hopefully. 2 squads of 5 Gene Stealers. We do have an Acid Maw on each unit that just opens up some stratagems for us. Then we've got 4 Zoanthropes. They have Psychic Scream and Smite, so they're a pain to remove. So we'll see what kind of damage they can unleash. And then finally we have a Trigon, just a regular Trigon. Did not splurge for Dermic Symbiosis this time, so no invulnerable save, but he does have Adrenal Glands, so he's also up to strength 8 whenever he slashes people with those big claws. But that is the list. I guess I should note, we do have, since we're Kraken, we get an additional AP -1 when we charge, and we swapped out our secondary trait for +1 to charges. So we'll see if we can get into combat and eat some humans. This is exactly 1,250 points of the Imperial Guard. What do we got?
So we have Imperial Guard led by Cadian Castellan. He is kind of optimized for close combat, which is strange for Cadian. We are born soldiers, and we have the Cadian. All the forces are basically Cadian. Mm-hmm. The 2 command squads over there. I left my banners on the to be repainted table. So today we're going to be inspired by the Meltaguns.
Yes.
The banner guys are carrying Meltaguns. So today they had to forego the banners, and now we're just going to be recognizing those Meltas. Mm-hmm. And then you'll see we have the basic Cadia loadout for that with a Master Vox, medic, and then a close combat chainsword guy, and then some ancient models in there.
Yeah, there's
just as kind
some
of
classics
some fillers
in here.
And then we have over next we have the commissars. So I'm running 3 commissars. Again, I plan to spread my forces out, so the commissars are out there to kind of inspire some of the troops. Behind them, you'll have the sentinels. And it's 2 squads, one of scout sentinels, one of armored sentinels. They're carrying the multi-lasers with the chainsaws. Other than that, nothing spectacular about them. And then 6 squads of infantry, 3 squads with plasma, 3 squads with melta. Other than that, basic Cadian las guns. 3 heavy weapon squads, 1 with las cannons, and 2 with mortars. And again, just for ancient kicks there, we have the Cadian squad of mortars and the Krieg squad of mortars. So those Krieg mortars are ancient history.
Very classic.
And then we have the 1 unit of artillery pieces in the back that are WYSIWYG, so it is the artillery gun.
Sweet.
So that is pretty much it. It's a lot of manpower and hopefully enough command to keep it on the table. We'll see how well it does against a small model count of high toughness, high attack.
Yeah, we counted up. It's 26 models versus 89 models. So we'll see how it turns out. But looks awesome. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, very nice. This guy at 8 a.m. this morning, which is about 4 hours ago, was just primer. So.
Oh, and the commissar that's over here.
Oh yeah, and the front commissar here also. So both of those
were painted today.
Yeah, so looks good. Looks good. Okay, very nice. Let's look at deployment. Deployment is complete. Here in our matchup, the Tyranids are over here on this edge, coming through this large blown up building, pressing in to the Imperial Guard lines. So basically, I've got most of my stuff around my home objective. Scything Talon warriors, the Venom Cannon squad of warriors, both here on the objective. Zoanthropes and the Neurothrope are hanging out behind the building to get some line of sight blocking cover. Same with our 3rd squad of warriors and the Broodlord. I do have 1 squad of Gene Stealers out here, outflanked towards this side objective. The other squad of Gene Stealers are in strategic reserve, and the Trigon is burrowing under the earth in deep strike reserve. But yeah, limited bodies for the Tyranids, so we need to, I feel like, concentrate our forces. I don't want to, be all across the edge of the battlefield. So mostly centered with a little bit of flank support. And then the Guard, what do we got? They're pretty much all across the deployment zone. It's pretty sweet.
We filled up our deployment zone and expanded beyond with the scouts.
Scouts are out on this objective already. But yeah, we've got, and the commissars are essentially equidistant. So there's one on this side,
one in the middle, and one with that group over there. We've got a command squad in this ruin with the mortar unit, command squad here supporting the mortar artillery units, and a troop up top, warlord, and 2 squads of infantry up on the rise. Las cannons over here with the best field of fire I could give them.
Yeah, looks awesome. Yeah, so can 89 Imperial Guard armies take up enough room, or will the Tyranids be able to punch through and take the objectives? That is the question. But the first thing we must answer is who goes first. So we shall roll off here. I'll let you roll first, sir.
Let's see what happens. That's a 5.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good for the Hive Mind. A 3. Okay, so it will be Imperial Guard first turn. Let's go to their objectives. The orders have been issued by Cadian Castellan Toppins. First, assassinate. Kill the Broodlord or the Neurothrope. Blood and Guts, not a great one against the Tyranids for them. Kill 3 units in melee combat. Then they drew Deploy Teleport Homer. It has to be done by an infantry unit wholly within the enemy deployment zone, so not great. Spend a CP to ditch it and got Battlefield Supremacy. That will be very much achievable this turn. So let's go into movement. Movement and orders are done for the guard. Over here on this flank, nothing really moved. These guys got Remain Vigilant, so they'll basically be firing Overwatch on 5s should something be able to charge them. All of the heavy weapon squads got Take Aim, so all down the line orders issued that way. These guys, yeah, again, did stay still here in the ruins. In the backfield and the home objective stayed still. These guys shifted up, so they're now controlling that center objective, which gives them 3. So for Battlefield Supremacy, they will get those 5 points. They also have Show Them Steel, Show Them Contempt. Yeah. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and what does that do again?
It gives them a 5-up protection from
mortal wounds. Yeah, so I have a lot of psychic stuff, so they'll be protected from that. On this flank, this unit and the Commissar both advanced to try to get to this objective. They did not make it, so the Sentinels stayed still to hold this so that, again, Battlefield Supremacy, those 5 points. And they are currently have at all costs, so they count for double models for holding objectives, so they count as 4 currently. And then other than that, I think everything back here also stayed still,
right,
with the exception of the Armored Sentinels shifted up to get some better line of sight, and these guys moved forward to the edge of the building. So there are many lasguns bearing down on some poor, innocent, kind-hearted Tyranids here in the center of the battlefield. But let's go to shooting phase. Shooting is going to start with the Sentinels, firing everything, including their Hunter Killer missiles, into the zone throats, but starting with the multi-lasers, that's what it's called.
So let's see what happens. They are going to be hitting on 4s.
And then -1 for the trees.
It'll be 5s. So it doesn't really impact me that much.
Yeah, it only cost you 1.
So that is 3.
And that's an auto wound.
That's an auto wound.
Okay, so 3 that will need, these are strength 6 on these guns.
Strength 6.
T5, so 3s.
Nothing. So one auto wound.
4-up invulnerable save, which I pass.
Wow.
Okay, and then Hunter Killer missiles.
All right.
On 5s.
Let's see what happens. Nope.
First one misses. Second one
misses.
Okay, so the Hunter Killer missiles are spent. Yes.
I actually will spend a command point to reroll one of those.
Get those because they are one-time use.
Yeah. And
so
got worse.
All right. So the Zoanthropes have survived the first volley. Moving along, this squad up here, they fired in. They took 1 wound off these warriors. Next up, this squad of Sentinels firing into these warriors over here with everything.
So we're going to start again with the multi-lasers. Again, hitting on 4s.
Yeah.
You want to reroll that as cocked?
That looks good.
Okay.
So 3 6s.
And 3 4s.
3 hits.
And
so if they explode, they just count as a hit, an extra hit. You wouldn't have to roll them again, right?
No, I have to re-roll.
Oh, okay. So it just gives extra attacks.
Yeah, it'll become another roll.
Okay.
What is the toughness on those guys?
Toughness 5.
So a 3 will wound. All right, and then.
Oh, okay. Those were the wound rolls. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Right. Confusion. Got it.
Sorry.
And then
so 2 more wounds. So 3.
So that is 7 wounds.
Yep.
AP -1. He's in cover, so these will be 4-ups.
Yep.
And you kill 1 guy. 3 fails. Okay. So 1 warrior is deceased, and then the Hunter Killer missiles come in on 4s.
Yeah, and these always lose. And I'm not going to spend another command point if they miss. I've already been burned on that this turn.
1 auto wounds. This will be 5-up invulnerable save, which I fail. So D6 damage, right, for a Hunter Killer missile?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so it takes out, 2. So 1 warrior dies, 1 is down to 1 wound. With the Commissar at their back, that unit of guardsmen eliminated the damaged warrior squad. Next up, the last cannons are firing in here at this squad of warriors. They are all able to see them. I did spend a CP on reinforced hive node, so they will reduce all incoming damage by 1, but let's see if they hit. So they're hitting on 3s with take aim.
Yep. So 3 last cannon shots. So that is 2 hits.
Is no auto hits, fortunately. And then these will be 3s. 1 wound. It'll be a 5-up invulnerable save because of warp shielding. And I fail. D6 minus 1. So 1 damage. Okay. The CP saved me 1 wound. Next up, the mortar squad over here, firing in to the Gene Stealers. It'll be 3 D6 shots. That's pretty good. 12 shots.
12 shots.
And these are also ordered with take aim, so they will also be hitting on 3s.
10, 11, 12. Not so great.
Couple 6s though.
Yeah. Got that.
And
So this.
so plus that plus 2. I only need 4s.
So
It's pretty good. 6.
is 6.
6. 5-up saves. Oh, that is the squad is dead. Okay, the Gene Stealers have been eliminated. The final 6 Kriegsmen firing their mortars up and over into the Zoanthropes over here. 3d6
shots. That was a little less.
10.
Time, so 10's not bad.
They do not have line of sight, so they have take aim to put them at hitting on 3s, but they're out of line of sight, so they're hitting on 4s.
So 10 dice. Not terrible.
6.
So
1 auto wound and then 6 regular hits with the explosion. And these will need 5s.
only 1.
So only 1 more. So alright, so 2
wounds.
4 up. I do fail 1. 1 takes a wound. Last thing to fire, the bombast field guns, shooting at the warriors here inside the crater area, but 3d6 shots with these as well.
So that is 9.
9 shots.
9.
On 3s to take aim. Ooh, 3 6s. Nice.
So that'll help.
3 auto hits that explode.
And
then
4
4 regular hits.
So
And these will wound on 3s, because these are strength 6, right?
strength 7.
Strength 7.
But I rolled terribly for
So
wounding.
3 more, plus 3 is 6.
6 wounds at
Minus 2. So these will be the 5-up warp shield saves. 2 damage each. I only save 1, so that's going to be the squad. That kills 1. Yep, the squad. I want to spend a CP. I need to save these guys. Need a 5. Don't get it. Okay, so I spent a CP. The squad is wiped. We've lost 2 squads of warriors. End of battle round 1 for the guard. They do score 5 points for battlefield supremacy, holding this objective, the center, and their home objective. So it will be 5 points to 0 heading into the Tyranids turn 1. We need some good objectives because we've lost 3 units already. The Hive Mind has issued its orders. Bring it down. This is actually destroy 1 of the armored sentinels. Interesting, because you choose a model, not a unit. So one of the armored sentinels, the one with barbed wire on its base specifically, we have to destroy it. Assassination, kill a character, and then extend battle lines. Hold our home objective and an objective in no man's land. So yeah, it's going to be tricky. Let's see what we got. Movement is pretty simple when you only have 4 units. So the goal here is I need to assassinate and I need to hold my home objective and 1 in no man's land. So the plan is we're going to put everything onto taking this objective. This is the objective I kind of wanted least because it's so wide open, but we got to score points. So the plan is these guys advance with opportunistic advance. So they move 18 inches. I'm going to try to onslaught them from the Broodlord up to here. which would mean they would be able to charge still after advancing. That's going to be key for this to work out. And then basically psychic smiting into them to whittle them down. So let's go ahead and kick it off here. We're going to start with our Broodlord, and we're going to cast Onslaught onto the warriors. That goes off on a 9. So they can now charge, and their assault weapons also don't have a penalty for advancing. So that's good. So then we'll go to the Neurothrop. He's going to smite, which will hit these guys up here. He needs a 5. He gets +1 to this because he's a Neurothrop. So that's a 9. So that goes off. That'll be D3 mortal wounds for 1. And you do have
5 up.
5 up. Save. Yeah, feel no pain type deal for this.
Nope.
Does not save 1. So 1's brain does turn to mush.
We'll get to off the bottom.
Okay. Then he will put Catalyst on the warriors, which does go off on an 11. So they now have a 5 up, feel no pain. Now we'll go to the Zoanthropes. They're going to smite, which also will hit these guys. They get 3d6. Pick the highest because of the the Neurothropes buff. So that is a 9 plus 3 is 12. So this is a d6 plus 3. So that is 8 mortal wounds. Yeah.
So, 8 dice.
8 mortal wounds. Need 5s to keep them alive.
5 up. Feel no pains.
2 of them live, so 6 more get a very bad headache.
Yeah. So
next up in shooting, they are going to fire in to the las cannons. I was debating shooting up into the squad up here on the thing, but I think killing these will help protect my Trigon. So we're going to shoot 9 shots, hitting on 3s. Okay, 7 hit, and then strength 5, so wounding on 3s. That is 6 wounds at AP -1. So 6 6s. 1 6 will save one of them.
None.
No 6s. Okay, so they do take out all of the las cannons.
Yep.
So now it's going to be charge time. They took out the las cannons. Now they're going to charge. They need a 5 to get into this guy. What I really wanted to do was charge around and take out the commissar for assassination, but it would be like a 10-inch charge even with my +1. So we're going to go with the safer bet because I do need to get onto this objective. So we're going to roll for this. Need a 5. That is as an 8. Okay, so they are in to this squad right here. So they went ahead and chopped up those 3 guardsmen. They did fire Overwatch though and took a wound off, but then we consolidated back, so we ended up closer to him. All 3 are now on the objective. So we get 5 points for extend battle lines for controlling an objective in no man's land and our home objective. But yeah, that's it. We're down to 4 units. We do have 2 in reserve, so we're going to need some miraculous saving this turn. So we do have Catalyst on these guys, so they will have a 5 up, feel no pain. But yeah, things are looking grim here for the Tyranids. Let's go on to battle round 2. The new order issued for the Imperial Guard: hold the line. Don't allow the Tyranids to get within 6 inches of their deployment zone. Right now the warriors are there, so if they get eliminated, they will have it, but it doesn't score until the end of my next turn, so I will have a chance to get in there. Movement and orders have been issued. Over here, this squad moving up towards the objective still. The Commissar does have it, and they've been ordered remain vigilant. So they have basically a 12-inch, nobody can deep strike within that range. So that's really good. The squad on the far flank has advanced forward, and they also have that from their Commissar. In the center, the Sentinels have converged in on the Warriors. The Commissar has moved up, so if they get eliminated, he will be holding the objective. He gave them the order. I'm sorry.
Show them steel, show them contempt.
Yes, so they have the feel no pain to mortal wounds. In the back, the mortars and the big cannons have stayed still. They have take aim again, and the mortar squad that's over here in this ruin also has take aim, as well as one of the squads up here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. These guys, that command squad did jump up onto the top of the ruin, but yeah, pretty much it is kill the warriors, and then shoot some other stuff whenever they're dead. And then we gotta hope that the Tyranid reinforcements can turn the tide here. I will say the Guard did get 5 points for primaries for holding one or more objectives, but they did not control more than the Tyranids, so they only got 5 there for primaries. So currently it is 10 points to 5. Let's see what happens in the shooting phase. Going into the shooting phase, it is worth noting my synaptic imperative is Predatory Guile from the Broodlord. So these guys will have the effects of light cover out here in the open. But we're firing, actually we're going to do all 4 of the Sentinels at the same time because they all have the same profile, same weapons, so we're just shooting them all at once.
So this will be 16 shots from multi-lasers. Not great.
Only a couple 6s. Hitting on 4s.
Yeah, that's actually
Yeah, that's
not so great at all. So.
And then 2 more from the explosions.
Yeah.
And these will wound on 3s. Oh, that was good.
That was good.
So that's 6 plus 2, so 8.
8.
They're AP -1, so these are 4-up saves since I have light cover. That's really not good at all. That's really bad. In fact, I fail 6, which will put me down to 1 with 1 wound. I don't think it's worth spending a CP to save 1 wound. Okay, so there's 1 guy left on 1 wound. Ooh, that was brutal. So, you know, per the usual for me, I totally forgot. I do have Catalyst on these guys. We actually went through a couple more things, like the Commissar shot, this squad shot, they shot, those guys shot, and he's all survived. And then I realized, oh shoot, I have Catalyst. So again, this is why you play with your friends, you know, nice people. Jerry is allowing me to roll my 7 Catalyst saves for the original ones that died. Okay, I make 4, or I'm sorry, I save 3 of the 7. So there was a guy on 2 wounds that would have died from those 2. And then that guy would go down to 1. And then I do have 1 more warrior left. Yay! The warriors are persistent. All the infantry squads, like just regular infantry, have fired in. So now we're moving to mortars. So the Krieg mortar squad, they're firing in. They do have line of sight, so no penalties. And they do have...
Yeah, say that one's even cocked. So this is terrible. So
6
shots.
But they hit on 3s from take aim. Well, that was good. Yeah, 5 hits and then 5s to wound. 1 wound.
No more.
No AP, so a 3-up with Predatory Guy, which I make with a 6.
All right.
So next mortar squad, 3d6 shots.
That's better.
That's better. That's 10.
All right, 2 auto wounds.
2 auto wounds, and they're hitting on 5s because of no line of sight.
Yep.
So that'll be 2 regular hits, 2 hits with the explosions, 2 wounds already through. So 4 more chances to wound here. Sorry.
Yeah, so you're hitting on 5s.
Yep. Add 1 more, so 3 ups. Actually 3 2-ups because no line of sight, I get +1. So they make it. Okay. Next up, let's see what we got. The 2 over here did not actually save. I rolled my 5-up Catalyst. That guy did die because taking him gives them extra AP as well. But next, we're going to the big field cannons. They're firing into the zoanthropes as the Commissar and the Sentinels want to chop up that Tyranid in combat. So this is 3d6 shots, but we did spend a CP on ingrained...
2d6 shots.
2d6 shots. Only 2 of them, yep. Ingrained precision, so 5s and 6s will explode. The number of shots is 7. That's good.
That's respectable.
That's average. And they will hit on 3s. 2 explosions and only 1 miss.
No, that's 4 explosions.
Oh yeah, because of 5s. Oh, yeah. So 1 miss. So, but only 2 still auto wound.
Yeah.
Okay. So these 2 still need to roll, right? Because only the 6 is auto wounds.
No, that.
Oh, they make
yeah,
them 6s. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Got it.
No. Actually, you're right. It's only 4.
So we got...
Yeah, they automatically wound.
Oh, okay, they auto wound as well. Okay, that's right.
No. It's actually they act as a 6.
Okay.
So
perfect.
yeah, they would. Yeah,
We got it.
I was right the
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah.
You made me question myself. I was like, maybe he's right.
So it is 3s, so only 1 drops. So that is a lot. That's 8. Okay, 8 4-up, invulnerable saves.
Yeah.
On
increased AP doesn't help.
the zoanthropes. That is not good. These are 2 damage each. I have not spent a CP yet, so this would kill 1. Because 1, no, they're 2 damage each. I am going to, yeah, I'm going to spend a CP. Reroll one of these. Oh, there's a 4th fail. Okay, still fails. So that kills 1 who had 3 wounds. That kills 1 with 4 wounds, and then 1 is down to 2 wounds. So there's 1 full health and 1 on 2 wounds. Moving to charges, starting with the Scout Sentinels. They need an 11, but if they can get in, then the other guys are safer on theirs. So
We'll see what happens.
11.
No.
Not an 11. The Armored Sentinels need a 5.
No.
They don't make it.
I will
CP that
I'll
one?
CP that.
Yeah, good idea. Because the thing is, I could technically overwatch the Commissar. So yeah, safety first.
There we go.
They're in. Okay, so they're safe, and then the Commissar will be in as long as he doesn't roll Snake Eyes to come down the hillside.
Yeah. And then
It's
Commissar.
not Snake Eyes. So he is in.
He is
Combat
he's really in.
has been made. Into combat. Commissar going first. He has 4 attacks with his chainsword.
Yeah.
Hitting on 3s?
Yeah. No. That's only
2.
2.
Strength, I need a 5 to
5 to
wound.
wound. No wounds.
No wounds, so he's alive. The debate now is, I could spend 2 CP and interrupt. He would only have 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s, and you do have an invulnerable save. So the chances of me actually killing him right now are slim. I'm going to save my 2 CP and let your Sentinels attack.
Alright, and the Sentinels...
Oh, because they do have the
They do have the
chainsaws.
chainsaws. So a Sentinel chainsaw is a -2 does too.
Sweet.
They have 3 attacks each, hitting on 4s.
I'm going to go ahead and spend a CP on Reinforced Hive Node, so they'll only do 1 damage when they come in.
So, hitting on 4s, this is both of them at once. Oh, that's good.
That was good. That is 5 hits. So the auto wounding is only in shooting, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
to my knowledge.
Yeah, so that's
Somebody
5.
will correct me, I'm sure.
So these guys will need to roll to wound too, then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
No.
They hit on 4s, right?
Right.
I think you had... Let me check the footage. I think you had more hits. It was 5 hits, so roll... What's the strength with this saw?
Good question. 6.
Okay, so 3s to wound.
Only 2.
Okay, only 2. AP -2.
Yes.
6 up armor save. Oh!
Wow. There you are.
Unbelievable. Okay, so he is alive, and I'll get to fight back. With our heroic warrior surviving, he's going to swing everything at the Commissar. So it is 4 attacks hitting on 3s. So I do fail 1. I could spend a CP, but I'm not going to, because I would have to... It is 2s to wound. I'm going to go for it. This is for 5 points. CP. Still miss. Okay. So 2s to wound. They do all wound. It will be on your invulnerable save.
3.
Yes, these are 2 damage each, actually.
All right.
I didn't think about that part. So 2 damage, so if 2 fails, is a dead Commissar.
So I need 5s.
Okay.
He's done.
The Commissar is chopped to bits. Okay, so that is 5 points for assassination, actually. That was, okay, that was good, that was good. The heroic stand of the warrior has scored us 5 points for assassination. So at the end of the guard turn, it is 10-10. Tie game before any primaries are scored. So let's see what the objectives are for the Tyranids. The new orders have been issued by the Hive Mind. No prisoners, just kill stuff. I need to destroy 30 wounds worth of models. Defend Stronghold, hold my home objective through the Imperial Guard next turn. That could be achievable. and then capture enemy outposts. That's going to be really hard with 2 infantry squads and a character sitting on top of it. We are at the end of the movement phase for the Tyranids. Warriors stayed in combat. I'll probably die, but I have a chance to maybe save him. The Zoanthropes and Neurothrop move forward a little bit so we can do some smiting. I spent a CP on Opportunistic Advance for the Broodlord, so he's all the way up here, so I can onslaught him and charge one of these 2, possibly. We did bring in the Trigon from Deep Strike Reserve, tunneled up, so looking for a charge here. The, what's the order called?
Remain Vigilant.
Remain Vigilant, yeah, 12-inch bubble really hurt me on these flanks, because I really wanted to bring the Trigon in over here, or over here, with some Gene Stealers. So I put the Gene Stealers in from Strategic Reserve back here as kind of a countercharge to these guys if they do continue forward. The problem is obviously they're susceptible to mortar fire, but hopefully maybe if I can keep this warrior alive, take out some sentinels, those mortars may fire into something else. We'll see. But yeah, that's the plan right now. So we're going to go to our psychic phase. I need to do onslaught on him. I have 1 CP left, so I'm going to start with that, as it is the most important thing. That is a failure with 4. So I'm going to re-roll that with my last CP. And that's a 5. I got to double check. I think it's a 6 for Catalyst. Onslaught is a 6, so he fails. So he's just a sitting duck out here in the open now. But we'll go over here to the Neurothrop. He's going to smite, which will hit those guys. The Sentinels need a 5. That is a 6 technically. So D3 mortal wounds for 3. They do have the order, so they have a Fiona of Pain to this. So 3 5s. 3 5s coming up. 1 5. That's cocked, yeah. Okay, so they take 2. And then we will do the same. Actually, I need to do Catalyst first. Let's put Catalyst on. We're going to put Catalyst on. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're going to put it on the Broodlord. Catalyst on the Broodlord. Need a 6. That goes off. Okay. Broodlord has Catalyst. Now we'll go to the Zoanthropes. Are going to smite 3d6. That's 7 plus 2 is 9. So it is not a super smite. So it's going to be d3 plus 2. So 5 mortal wounds.
And that was on.
That'll hit them as well.
Okay, 5?
Yeah, so 5 5s for a dead sentinel. There are 2 5s in there. Yep, so 3 more wounds. So both sentinels.
Leaves him with 2.
Yeah, both sentinels are still alive. All right, let's see what we can shoot. We are in the charge phase. He did fire his bioelectric pulse into the sentinels, took 2 wounds off. He is declaring a charge into them. They fired Overwatch, did 1 damage. So he needs an 8-inch charge because of my Hive Fleet adaptation. I have no CP left. That's a 6. That fails. We're in trouble here. 6 attacks from the armored sentinels into the warrior.
Hitting on 4s.
Hitting on 4s.
Not bad.
That was good.
50% is within acceptable limits.
And then 3s to wound.
There we
3
go.
wounds. All right, can
Minus
I get
2 does 2.
Yeah, can I get the 6s again? I need 2 6s. I did it last time. Ooh, 1 6. So he is dead because those are 2 damage each. Yeah, I have no CP to reroll or do anything cool. So he's out. Blah.
And that kept everybody out of my starting area.
Yeah, so I don't think the Broodlord got in. So we'll measure up, but I think, there's going to be points scored for the Imperial Guard because of that fatality. So with the death of the warrior, my Broodlord not being able to charge, I do not actually have anybody within 6 inches. We just did some major measuring because there are like these 2 little points with the way this circle works, and he is just outside of 6. So the guard do get 5 points for hold the line in my turn. So that makes it 15 to 15 heading into battle round 3. Orders and movement are done. Big advances over here, 6-inch for the regular squad, 5-inch for the commissar. So they are up on the objective now. They do have their remain vigilant. So not only, it doesn't just do the 12-inch no deployment, but it will allow them to Overwatch on 5s as well should these Gene Stealers survive and charge in. In the center, the Sentinels have regrouped around this statue and the objective in the middle of the battlefield. On this flank, they have consolidated their strength onto the objective, and then some shifting here. These troops moved up to the edge. The troops that were in this ruin also shifted up into the corner there. Things are not looking good with all of the failed charging for the Tyranids. So now, with the Tyranids left exposed, shooting will bring down the beasts. At the end of Battle Round 3 for the Cadians, that's all that's left of the Tyranid army. The Broodlord, the Gene Stealers, all have been eliminated. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Score 5 points.
And the last zoanthrope.
Yeah, oh yeah, the last zoanthrope. Yeah, that was down here. There were zoanthropes. They're all deceased now. You did get 5 points for, what was it that you, assassination. You killed the Broodlord to get 5 points, putting the guard at 30 points. I did score defend stronghold in my last turn. I don't think I counted that, so I do have 20 points. 20 points to 30. The problem is I only have 2 models. So I actually already drew my cards for this turn, and I drew Storm Hostile Objective. So he moves 10. I already measured up. He's going to end up like right here. We already actually did his psychic power. He did a super smite, and Ra rolled a 1 for damage, so there's only 1 wound off that. So I'm going to roll and see if I can charge in. Hey, that's a 10, which becomes an 11, so he's in. All right, he's in. I want to do 12 attacks into this squad of Sentinels, and I'll see if I can kill them both. I will get 5 points for Storm Hostile Objective, and then the Neurothrope will fly away. That's the plan here, as we can see. So I hit on 3s. Oh, that's good. I can re-roll 1 hit with his pincer tail, prehensile pincer tail. So I'll do that just for the heck of it. They all hit. Strength is 8 because he's got adrenal glands.
So winning on 3s.
So 3s to wound. 3s to win. Not as good as the hit roll.
Before you calculate that, I'll cast a Acadia stance, which means only 4s wound.
Okay, so it actually didn't change anything.
Oh, it didn't change anything?
Because I got 2s and 1s and 5s and 6s. That's fine. So 6 at AP minus 4. Because 6 I charged.
At AP minus, that's 6 that will go through.
Yeah, so that will kill them. Because they're 2 damage each. So the first one kills him, and then 5 would be 10 on that.
Yeah.
Do they explode? I don't think you can kill me with explosions because
No, they just do 1 mortal each.
Oh, it's just 1. Okay, so he is fine. I'll consolidate. I'll score 5 points for storming a hostile objective. Neither explode. And that is the end, as the Neurothrope will now escape while the Trigon slashes at some things to buy the Warlord time to get back to the Hive Fleet. But yes, this was a bloodbath. The Guard, I love the new Guard Codex. I think it's really great.
And the Cadia list, I just took, that's not my normal thing, but the Cadia list with the way that the 6s work for them, and in general, this did outstandingly well. The best performers of my army is the artillery, the mortars, and the field gun. Yep.
The mortars are great, obviously. I have a lot of T5. The only thing in my list that was T4 were the Gene Stealers, and both times 1 unit of mortars fired in and killed them both times with no problem. So they're very good against T4 and under. They struggled a bit, obviously, against T5 winning on 5s, but I mean, yeah, I love the indirect fire capabilities of the Guard is really good.
And the Sentinels were outstanding performers.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't know that I really had a comeback in this game because of how small my footprint ended up being after the first couple rounds. But even if I would have made, the Broodlord would have got Onslaught off and made his charge, and if I would have made the charge with the Trigon, I could have maybe taken out the Sentinels, which would have maybe then bought another round of life for my Zoanthropes. But even then we were talking too, because at the end of this game with priority targets, you get 5 points for each objective you control. So I had no way to contest this. I had no way to contest that. And this, realistically, even if my Broodlord and Trigon are like here, like they're not objective secured. So even if one person survives back there, that's another 5 points at the end of the game. So that would be 15 points. Maybe I hold my home objective for 5 points at the end of the game. So yeah, it was a bloodbath. I really needed, I don't know, like, that my problem with Tyranids, and I mean, if you've been following my channel at all, you've witnessed this, is how to balance playing them aggressive enough that I can, be in a position to get a first turn charge, because that's what my army wants to do. We're very choppy, very little shooting. So how can I be aggressive enough to be in a position to be in a first turn charge situation, but also not exposing myself, because I had my Gene Stealers were up here. They got killed in the first turn. I had 2 squads of warriors up here near the edge of my deployment zone to hopefully move up and charge something possibly. And they both got wiped out. So that is the problem I'm having with my army, is how do I play them aggressively enough to do something in turn 1, but also not get them killed if I go second. That's the trick.
Yeah.
What does your orc boss mind say for something like that?
Okay, since the majority of my time spent in 9th edition has been orcs, I think it's a fairly sound list, and this is something I always struggled with before orcs got the invulnerable saves during the WoW, is you just have to have enough stuff to lose a certain percentage, and then hope that you can get the other stuff in. It is really, really hard to go up against an army that shoots this well.
Yeah.
Shay found it very difficult to stand against my orcs just because we were so fast.
Yeah.
But that was because I built a list that was extremely fast. Tyranids don't have that luxury. They have some things that are fast, but like in order to use Gene Stealers, you have to use mass ties of Gene Stealers.
Yeah.
Termagants and Hormagaunts, boy, it's really hard to make a Tyranid list that uses Termagants and Hormagaunts. Same thing with Gargoyles. So that's your large numbers. So you really have to do the monsters. Warriors are some of the best models in the game for Tyranids.
Right.
Zoanthropes are the next one. So you already have a good list.
Yeah, I think your orcs, like you're saying, like you have a bunch and you just kind of weather the storm. So like some die, but you still have enough to hit back. My problem is with 3 units of warriors and maybe like a squad of Gene Stealers, if you kill 2 or 3 of those units, that's
you don't have anything left.
Right, that's half of my threats. Yeah.
You don't have anything, like I said, in the Tyranid Codex that really can give you that high body count and high movement.
Right.
Hormagaunts would probably be the best, but not again, I play an army that has no range combat.
Yeah.
As it works. So it is possible to take 300 Hormagaunts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely something you can do.
Overwhelm with numbers.
Yeah. When I built like my Tyranid army, I didn't want to have. I wanted Gene Stealers. I want my army to be like an elite army of Tyranids.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to bring a bunch of like the Hormagaunts and Termagants. The Gene Stealers, you can get them in blobs of 10. But they're 16 points a model, 160 points, and they're still just as easy to kill, and that's kind of their weakness. I'm not sure they're in a great spot in 9th edition. They were insanely good in 8th edition, and I think they're more balanced now, but they're just a bit pricey for what they bring to the table at this point.
Yeah, with 160 points, I can get 6 Squig Hogs that include 2 Squig Bombs, and they're going to be moving 12.
Yeah.
And do a hell of a lot more attacks and have the possibility of ranged combat.
Right.
So that 160 points on the orc side, just thinking of one unit.
Yeah.
But even if I go back, if I don't take, if I take 160 points of Storm Boys, that's 15 Storm Boys.
Oh, yeah.
With Slugga Choppa. So 15 Storm Boys. Again, a lot more wound count.
Yep.
Than your 10.
Yeah, because it's only 10 wounds in a squad of 10 Gene Stealers. And they have a 5-up invulnerable save to shooting. They do get 4-up in combat, which is nice, but combat is where, like, if they get into combat with, a squad of guardsmen, they're going to kill the guardsmen. So the 4-up invulnerable save isn't necessarily a huge boon to them, because most likely they're just going to die in shooting. So, and realistically what happens with them anyways, if you do get them in, they do charge, they kill a unit of infantry, now they're open and exposed, they get shot the next turn, and then they're dead. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I like my Tyranid list. I don't, it's just, it's tough
you
to be...
beat my orcs with your Tyranid list.
Yeah. With the small footprint in Tempest of War, it becomes difficult because each unit I lose prevents me from, branching out to take a new objective or something to that effect. And that is the fallback, or the kind of the weakness of it. But when it works really well. And it's a feast or famine type list for me, it seems. If I can go first, get some good charges in, then it can eat some stuff up because like there's a campaign at our local gaming store, narrative campaign happening, and we played. I am running my Tyranids, Jerry had his orcs, and we both set up like right on the edge of our deployment zones, and it was like one of us is going to go first and eat the other one. I won the roll off to go first, and I
I don't remember if that was 500 or 1,000 points.
Yeah,
it was decisive Tyranid victory.
Yeah, it was. If you would have went first, it would have been the opposite.
Probably decisive orc victory.
Yeah.
And I still think it's the flowers that make all the difference.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That was the difference in the game. Look at those little.
It's the marigolds.
Yeah.
The marigolds is what
inspiring the troops.
Yeah.
The Tyranids must have an allergy. The pollen is in the air there.
Yeah. Tyranid defense.
The Trigon is like burrowing up, jumps up, and sneezes as it goes into the charge, and that's all the time the Sentinel needed to take him out, get him out of the way. But yeah. Cool. So good game. Tyranids, feast or famine in Tempest of War. I think, it's one or the other. I can never seem to have a close game with them either.
How did the one with Cadia?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that was a closer game than this game with Sergeant Seal?
The thing is, the points haven't actually been super swingy either way. Like I was only actually down 10 points. Now, obviously, like. I get wiped out next turn and you score, however many points you want.
Game points would be
right. But while I'm alive, the points are close.
Yes.
And in that regard, they were pretty similar. I think I survived like an extra turn, basically, in that one. So yeah. But, we're having fun. I had a good time. It was fun. I love the army. There are a lot of like little female troops mixed in here.
Unfortunately, have a few substitutions today in this list.
But there are some classic models in this list as well.
Yeah, some things that are now extinct, like Power Fist.
Yeah, Power Fist Commissar. That's not something you can really take anymore. But yeah, and the Marigolds. I mean, again, just beautiful stuff. But yeah, we thank you for watching Slider Games. We're having a good time here. Like and subscribe to help us keep all this happening. And again, we appreciate your support. Have fun.